Hey, welcome to Monday. It is May 20th of 2024. This is the first Litter Media Live edition for the week.
Hello.
Hello.
This is the last time you and I will be seen together this week.
Yeah. And the first time we've been seen together since sometime last week, wasn't it?
Last Wednesday.
Yeah, we both have projects going on, and I'll be doing a lot of work in Latham this week with Western High School and their graduation, and they're celebrating seniors just about every day this week. And then also doing some work with our partners with Adena Health. So tomorrow I'm going to be wearing scrubs and stuff, I guess, from what I understand.
Just don't operate on anybody, Dan, please.
That's the plan. I have the initials DR, but I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Right.
Yeah. Just ahead, we'll take a look at what's making news for you. We had a busy weekend. We'll share some details about what we were doing over the weekend coming up in both news and sports here in just a bit. And even our own Aaron Glandon has some exciting information to share with us, too. So you stick close for all that. But first, here's what the weather looks like. It's another beauty of a day.
You know, they say that Memorial Day is the unofficial start to summer.
Yeah.
But it might feel like it today and tomorrow because we're looking for sunshine both days and a high of 84, high humidity, a little muggy. And that's juicing up the atmosphere for Wednesday because we're looking at showers and thunderstorms with some possible severe weather on Wednesday with a high 79.
Was it you that was asking here recently, is it just me or does the sun seem hotter than it used to?
Wasn't me.
Someone mentioned that to me the other day, and while I was at Huntington's commencement yesterday, stepped outside, and man, it was like the sun ball was just killing you.
That sounds like a question of a guy that I'm going to have lunch with today, Bruce Justice. I'm calling you out.
Okay.
In 8th grade, he asked our science teacher, because the science teacher was talking about how fast light travels. The question was, quote, if you could ride light, would you fall off? He got put in the corner for that one.
You would actually disintegrate probably.
Yeah, you'd probably
more than anything.
You vaporized, right.
All right. We'll stay away from science, I guess, for the rest of the program, but we'll jump into news on the way next. But first, let's tell you about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Your trusted comfort advisor. Spent some time with these folks over the weekend, and that's going to be one of our news topics we'll share in just a bit. But it had nothing to do with heating, cooling, or plumbing. It had a lot to do with running and endurance. So details are coming up just around the corner. But if you have a heat pump, air conditioning unit, or your plumbing issues that is not good in the long run, make sure you check with Accurate. They can help you. Your trusted comfort advisor. Click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, and it takes you to their website, accuratehvac.com.
Our financial lives have never been more complex, and some decisions just can't wait, which is why our K&B Mobility app gives you instant access to the financial tools you need wherever you are. Get a clear picture of all of your accounts, check your daily transactions, receive account alerts, and much more. So no matter where you are or what you are doing, you can make the best decisions for you and your financial goals. Download our Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. Big week for Haynes Chiropractic. Of course, Haynes Total Health Care is what they have turned their name into because they do take care of physical therapy along with your chiropractic needs, nutrition, and more. But it's a big week for them because son Lucas Haynes and coach Brandon Haynes are joining all the other tennis guys up at the state championships this week. So good luck to the Haynes family there. And Mason Thornsberry. Good luck to him also as well. In fact, if you want to see the interview that Mike did with them, that's available on our Litter Media X page as well. Haynes Total Healthcare Center. Click on that ad that you saw just a moment ago, anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, and it takes you to hayneshealth.com. News now. And you can find it on our website, littermedia.com, as well as here on our Facebook news feed. There are certain things that we don't put on our website that we do on social media, as well as Litter Media X, and some videos that we added to our YouTube channel over the weekend. And one of those is a conversation I had with the outgoing, well, we're going to this first. That's fine. We'll stay with this first. Okay. This is the trip we made this past Saturday. This is out at Michael and Annette Linton's camp. And here you're looking at Muddy Hill. And here are some of the volunteers. This is all part of the Eagle Endurance Challenge. A lot of different physical things to work on there. And we've lost the picture here from what we are seeing, but folks are seeing things
it's
that
still
are going
playing the
on.
B-roll.
Yeah, but I can't see it to describe what's going on now. So there we go. Okay. Here are some ropes and wire cable that they had to traverse the water. And while it looks simple, it's not. And there's a lot of crawling, a lot of climbing of ropes. This is a 30-foot high rope that you can climb. Then they had these logs they were dragging down the hill, and then you got to bring them back up the hill. And you see the cross there. This is all Christian-based. And then there's the tremendous endurance of turning tires. And Tom White said, I don't know why somebody would go with the tractor tire. I guess you just want more challenge. But here are some walls you had to scale, and then this trail takes you into a little walk bridge that you have to go across through the woods. And more tires. And you've seen this in football drills, I'm sure. But about 90 people were there for this event, and 50 plus were combatants to the elements. And here's one that it looks like he had it, and then he doesn't. But he's going to make another nice move to get back on top, but then he goes in the drink.
Oh, no. That's great.
And I can't imagine what it was like. It was fun just watching these people challenge themselves. Half the field were women.
Yeah.
I was impressed by that. And, of course, there's Michael Linton in prayer in a moment for his friend Dave Eagle, who passed away a couple of months. That's his wife in the T-shirt there with the scripture from Hebrews. And they were riding with, there it is, Koinonia Farms. Tom White driving the Intimidator for me there.
I don't know what happened with that video I meant to play because it's titled the right thing, but OBS must have just kicked it out of here.
Ah, okay.
That looks like something the National Guard could probably get on that.
Well, and this is something that we've talked about before. It's a Fellowship of Christian Athletes camp is what they have built in. This is in Hocking Hills, just outside of Laurelville. That course itself, I think, is 3.5 miles, and there were 23 stages, did you say? Or
Yes.
Okay, because Aaron was there with me as well. Working on a video that we're going to show on our YouTube channel this week. So if you want to see what this endurance challenge is all about, man, they've got another one scheduled for September. So another opportunity to participate in that if you want to. And they're going to use it for some of their camps as well. They've got a football camp that they have out there too. And this was something when Michael and I talked about it the first time, he said, we don't want this to be looked at lightly because everything is doable, but it's going to be a challenge. Right. And Dave Eagle, as we learned in an interview earlier, was a physical education teacher at Hilliard City Schools, and he was all about fitness. And most of the people there were part of his gym that he started as well. So it was really cool to see all that come together. All right, did you find the video that you want to show?
I found it.
Okay, very good. Also Saturday, after I went home, took a shower, from that, we went to this. It is the Feast of the Flowering Moon Queen and Court, and This particular couple here, Leah Parker from Waverly, and also Emma Massey, she's the outgoing queen. They have just a handful of days remaining in their reign because this next group of girls are the ones that they already know they're on the court because there's just 3 of them. So you're going to have the queen, so you miss Feast of the Flowering Moon, and then you have the first and second attendant. And those girls are Mackenzie Crum from Paint Valley. They're on the left. Also Sydney Bush from Unioto and Ava Lowry from Huntington. And so we wish those girls well. They will crown, this is the pageant, and they've made their decision, but the crowning will not take place until Friday at 6. So if you want to see who gets Miss Feast of the Flowering Moon, you need to be there Friday for that. That's at 6 o'clock, the main stage at Paint and 2nd Streets.
A sad note came to us over the weekend. A friend of the old Dan and Mike show that used to be on WBEX many years ago, a decades-long community member, has passed away. Very well known in both Pickaway and Ross County. We're talking about Stephen Gary. Steve was also on the Board of Education at Adena. You probably, if you look at his obit in our story on LeonardMedia.com, the whole paragraph is incredible, all the things that he was involved in over the years. He became an employee at the Savings Bank of Circleville as a loan officer in 1979. And when he retired in 2014, he was the CEO and president. But a philanthropist in both Ross and Pickaway County. I don't know of anybody that did not know Steve Gary.
And recently, 4-H, a friend of 4-H
Yes.
recipient, what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Well, he
maybe?
and also received an honor for his late wife, Judy, in last year's fair. In fact, the picture that you see on our website, that's him accepting the honor posthumously for his late wife, Judy.
Okay, yeah.
So, but great guy, Steve Gary. And information about the funeral, by the way, visitation at Ware Funeral Home will be tomorrow from 2 to 8 p.m., and then the funeral is 11:30 on Wednesday out at Brown's Chapel, United Methodist.
Steve always made it a point for us to have Krispy Kreme donuts and also Pomona Grange meal.
The roast beef out there was great.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Steve, and thank you most of all for your friendship. And he was ready to go.
Yes, sir.
Ready to go.
Also, Goodwill of Washington Courthouse will benefit from the Food for a Cause in Washington, 11 to 6 this Wednesday. The Schmidt food truck will be there at the Washington Courthouse Goodwill office throughout the day. And again, all of the money raised from that goes to the Food for a Cause program that Goodwill runs in Washington Courthouse.
Pickaway County Community Action Agency has been helping to empower people to become self-sufficient and improve their quality of life for over 50 years now. PICCA has developed a wide range of programs that address different needs within the community. PICCA is updating its multi-year strategic plan and is asking the community for input regarding what they do. So if you can help out, find out more details in this article you'll find on our website, LeonardMedia.com.
And you got a little bit of a follow-up from PICCA about the...
Nick Pruitt says that the Soap and Hope, it's basically a shower unit. They'll be able to take out to different locations for the homeless and other needs and all. That will be hopefully available by August, from what we understand. He was shooting for June, but things happen, you know.
Right. So keep an eye on that.
Yes.
We'll have a follow-up as soon as we get the word. Speaking earlier about the warm weather that we're having, but it's not going to be open until Saturday. The Chillicothe Donald M. Smith Memorial and Municipal Pool, that's going to open up for the summer this coming Saturday, which is also just in time for the Feast of the Flowering Moon.
That's right.
So if you get too hot watching the Native Americans, take a dip.
Yes, and they'll probably have Yaktangi Parkway cut off, so you won't be able to go in that way. You'll have to come in the back way to Yaktangi Park. Diseases spread by ticks are an increasing concern, and not only here in Ohio, but across other parts of the country. But here in Ohio, being reported to the Ohio Department of Health more frequently in the past decade, with Lyme's disease, also Rocky Mountain spotted fever being the most common. Take action to decrease your risk of infection. Protect against tick bites. check for ticks, remove ticks as soon as you can, and watch for symptoms. Wouldn't hurt to maybe, if you're going into the woods and you're wearing pants, go ahead and put rubber bands around the bottom of those pants to make sure that they aren't able to climb up your pant legs. The most common symptoms of tick-related illnesses are fever, chills, aches and pains, and rash. My father-in-law had Lyme disease here a few years ago, and it was not a pretty sight.
Yeah.
So try to avoid that if you can.
Keep an eye on that. Our road report takes us south down into Scioto County today. Work has begun for a resurfacing project on US 23 and State Route 728 between the city of Portsmouth and the village of Lucasville. Work is daily through this summer.
Sports on the way next in just a matter of moments, so get ready for that. But first, let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. If you are planning a project, maybe you have something at work that you need a dumpster for, or maybe at home, give them a call, 740-253-8389. And when you click on this ad at littermedia.com, it takes you to their Facebook page where you can see some other things that they do as well. So if you've got questions, they've got answers. Scioto Valley Dumpsters, 740-253-8389. Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week.
As a basketball coach and a dad, I need to be able to keep up.
Mark came to the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc.
I was so confident in Dr. Fleming, he explained everything.
Together, they decided on minimally invasive spinal surgery to relieve Mark's pain and get him back to what matters most. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
Now that's one fast mower. Take command of your lawn with Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower.
Visit ChillicotheOhio.com for the Ross Chillicothe Convention and Visitors Bureau. The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365. 988. Save the number. Save a life. If you'd like to learn more about the Bean Foundation, created in the memory of Bryant Bean's Butt, call 740-703-0611, or you can find that information when you click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com. Time for sports, and we're going to start with our high school roundup.
It was a big weekend for area high school softball teams, 5 in our coverage area that advanced to the regional semifinals. These two teams were clubs that I was following on Friday night with the X updates. That is Logan Elm's Lady Braves down in the left-hand corner and Unioto's Lady Shermans on the right. The Logan Elm story was incredible. They were behind 1-0, top of the 7th inning, 2 outs, 2 strikes on the batter. Lucy Kaplinger lines a single that scores 2 runs, and then they hang on for the victory. It was an identical 2-1 win for Unioto over Circleville. But other teams that advanced were Teays Valley and Lancaster, who play each other Wednesday in Division I, and Liberty Union in Division III up in Fairfield County. They also advance.
Go back to that picture again. I think one of the more amazing things, other than the results of the game, look, it's dirt, not mud, underneath the feet. It was incredible how the weather played out for this.
It rained on me all the way from Chillicothe to Athens, but there was just a couple of little sprinkles during the game, but they got it in. They felt very fortunate to get those 2 games in.
And Mike was a wet blanket all the way down. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah, because I was reliving.
This is going to be horrible.
I was reliving last Thursday at Washington Courthouse when they turned the fire hose on me. In track and field, as far as team championships of area clubs, Circleville girls and Zane Trace boys won the Division II District Track and Field Championships. And there was a number of area athletes that have also qualified for the regionals, but those were the only two nearby schools that won team championships.
Our Aaron Glandon was out for and this is part of the rain that you were talking about, out for the opening of Metahqua and their disc golf course.
Yeah, and it was raining, and it was not the most fun weather that I've ever been to, but Miranda Vance and the whole Ross County Park District trail crew was there to celebrate their grand opening of the disc golf course out at Metahqua. And here's a few words from them.
We have an 18-hole disc golf course that wraps around the park. We've had the tee pads in. I know a lot of people like to see concrete ones, but we have the stone ones here. So hopefully we'll be able to make people okay with that. Micah, we keep talking about alternatives to that.
Mike and I just poured a lot of sweat, time, effort into getting this put in. We try to find natural lanes in the woods where we don't have to cut things down. Metahqua was a really special place. We wanted to keep it that way, but open it up to more views than just the Pawpaw Trail. There's so much more to see. We have so much more property than what the Pawpaw runs through. Now the disc golf course will help people be able to see more of our park.
And you can find more information about Metahqua on our website story at littermedia.com.
Awful nice of him to hold the umbrella there for Miranda so she could talk and stay dry.
Yeah.
Some real gentlemen in the crowd.
Yes, Alan would appreciate that. The Reds and Dodgers went at it for 4 games. The Reds lost 3 of those contests, and one of them was a 3-2 loss yesterday. We talked about this on the show last week. Now they are 1-9, is it, in one-run games? Something like that. 19-28 on the season, 2-5 on the road trip out west. They're off today, but they'll host San Diego tomorrow through Thursday. Then the Dodgers come to town for the weekend. The Guardians have a different story, though. Guardians were sweepers of the Twins, and they've won 6 of their last 7 games. They'll host the Mets beginning tonight in a series in Cleveland.
The question is, will David Bell still be the manager by the end of the season?
I was thinking about that this morning, and I know the guys love him, and he is a manager that will fight tooth and nail for his guys, but that doesn't translate into wins all the time, and you just kind of wonder, could this roster that they have put together, could they use somebody like Davey Johnson, that kind of a character, to come in? Yeah. Or would they be more in line for like a Dusty Baker? Mm-hmm. I can't remember who the AAA manager is right now in Cincinnati, sure. Louisville.
Ed Power, is it?
I don't remember. Mm-hmm. But Barry Larkin's been waiting in the wings. Right. But does he, as a Hall of Famer, feel as though he can put himself into traveling with the team all the time?
At the end of the last season, did they give David Bell a 2 or 3-year extension?
I don't recall.
But they got it. They got him because when he got the extension, they're saying everybody's going for 2 games over 500. So yeah. There were high expectations on this team this year. So they better get it turned around quickly, or David could be looking for a job.
Yeah, and last year they were 34-28, I think, in one-run games, and that really made a big difference. Yeah. But now you can't go down to the farm to bring guys up like you did last year because you brought them all up.
They're already there.
Yeah. So,
okay.
All right, that's a look at sports. Standing by this date in history, we go to
a big year in history for a lot of reasons, including the one we're going to talk about in 1927.
Details next.
Litter Quality Propane. Online all the time. Customer payments, account information, and more. Log on at litterpropane.com.
At Rathkamp Financial, we act as your advocate in all wealth matters. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust with our customized investment solutions. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, Our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good. Time for this date in history, 1927.
American aviator Charles Lindbergh takes off from Roosevelt Field on Long Island, New York, on the world's first solo nonstop flight across the Atlantic Ocean, and the first ever nonstop flight between New York to Paris. Mr. Lindbergh does it in the spirit of St. Louis on this date in 1927.
Was it Jimmy Stewart that
he did
perform that flight again, where he was hallucinating and everything?
Well, he was going to sleep at one point, and then a fly was crawling around on his face, and that's what woke him up. Yeah. There had been 2 or 3 other pilots that attempted it and crashed and did not make it. So Lucky Lindy was the first in 27.
Trying to remember the year that Amelia Earhart made her flight. Was that in the 30s?
She disappeared in 38, but I think she did her round-the-world flight in 1937.
Okay.
What's crazy to me is the first flight was in 1903, and this was only a couple decades later. That's wild to me.
Here you are 16 years later trying to go across the Atlantic.
Well, how far did the Wright brothers' initial flight went?
12 seconds.
I mean, it was like in the feet. Number of feet that they actually traveled in the air. We're talking about going across the Atlantic Ocean.
And a lot of that was thanks to the winds off the coast there at Kitty Hawk.
Yeah.
And
we're always arguing with North Carolina about the first in flight. Yesterday, I was at Dayton Children's Hospital, and I couldn't believe all of the references to the Wright brothers in the hospital lobby. I mean, big artistic works, and Dayton's very proud of that.
Yeah. I know our license plates say birthplace of aviation in North Carolina say first in flight because my roommate's from North Carolina.
Yeah.
So I get on him about that.
On the Billy Graham channel, I heard him speaking, I believe, in Cincinnati in like 1999. And, of course, he hails from North Carolina. And so he said, I hear that you have the Wright brothers from just up the road here, but I want to remind you that we were first in flight in North Carolina. So, and it got a chuckle from the crowd. So, all right, that's it for today's programming. We do have some YouTube channel videos that you can see. We showed you some B-roll of the Queens. You can check that out now, hear what the girls had to say, and also from over the weekend, the Metahqua experience. You can hear more about what's going on there. If you have never been to Metahqua, you got to go check it out. I've been, but I haven't checked it all out. So I got to go check it all out at one of these days. Not like a library book.
Yeah.
You got to go and experience it in that respect. But tomorrow we have a couple of special editions for you. Speaking of the library, Pickaway County Library will be in here.
That'll be at 9:30, and then we have the Adam H. representatives, Melanie Swisher and
Kelly Dennis.
Kelly Dennis will be with us at about 10 o'clock or shortly after that. So.
Okay. And I'll be on assignment, so I will see you here on another edition Friday. Friday. Look at me. And you think I'm taking time off. That ain't the case. Just working off camera. So until tomorrow, we appreciate you watching. Keep watching and keep listening to Litter Media Radio as well. You'll find a link to Litter Media Radio on our website, littermedia.com.